So he isn't a myth. He isn't a good moral teacher. Neither is he a menace. You see, when you think about this, deceivers buckle under pressure. Yet, when Jesus is faced with torture and ridicule and betrayal and abandonment and eventual death, being hung like a butchered animal on a Roman cross, he carries himself with the utmost grace and composure. He's the one who says in Luke 23, "Father, forgive them, because they do not know what they are doing." He's the one who is forgiving his enemies, even as they are driving the nails into his hands and feet. And through all this, he keeps his composure and doesn't buckle, doesn't, at the very end of his life, claim that he is not who he claimed to be. In fact, just the opposite. He reveals who he is in the Gospel according to Mark. In Mark chapter 14, verses 61 and 62, "I am, ego eimi, and you will see me coming on the clouds of heaven as the Son of Man." So he goes to his death believing who he was. Furthermore, deceivers or people that are evil, they don't defend the victims. Instead, they victimize the defenseless. That's what deceivers do. They take advantage of victims. Yet, what do we see from Jesus? Over and over and over again, we see that Jesus is defending the marginalized, the weak, the prostitutes, the poor, the disabled. He is the one who is standing up with a bravery that is second to none, defending people that are in need of his protection the most. When you see deceivers of cult groups, or deceivers of secular groups that are the head of pyramid schemes or trying to take from others, or any kind of political organization of any kind, they are usually motivated by one of three things. Number one, money. They want to get rich off of what they're doing. And yet, how does this fit with Jesus? He says that birds have nests and foxes have dens, but the Son of Man has nowhere to lay his head. When he's asked to pay for the drachma tax in Matthew, the 17th chapter, he doesn't have the money to give for the tax. Jesus, I'm not saying he was in poverty. I'm just saying he wasn't getting rich off of what he was claiming in the Gospels. So too, deceivers like to get power. Yet Jesus refused power. They tried by force to make him king in John chapter 6, verse 15. He said in John 18:36, "If my kingdom was of this world, my followers would come out and fight, and yet my kingdom is not of this world." Deceivers are always trying to get sex from the people whom they lead. And yet, with Jesus, one of the few things on which critics and Christians in scholarship can agree is that Jesus didn't have a girlfriend, a wife, he didn't have a side girl, nothing of the sort. Jesus wasn't married. Even John Dominic Crossan, one of the scholars in the radically critical Jesus seminar, agrees that Jesus did not have a wife. This is something that should be shelved in the fiction aisle with Dan Brown's book, The Da Vinci Code. This is not something that critical scholars believe. So Jesus wasn't a myth, he wasn't a good moral teacher, if that's what we want to call him, and he wasn't a menace. What about the idea that Jesus was mentally ill? Hi, everybody. I hope that you're enjoying the content and the videos here. If you're looking to help us in any way, there's one way that you could, which is to like and subscribe to the channel below. Hope that you would. Thanks so much.